I'm Aaron Peterson, CEO of Play Creative, and today I'd like to discuss with you the three main components to building a successful print campaign. Those three main components are messaging, user experience and design, and list building. And lastly, we'll go over ways that Play Creative tracks your campaign. Number one is messaging. With messaging, our main goal and focus is to engage the user to take something away from the piece by the content that we develop. Now, we do this by meeting with your team and deciphering the goals of the campaign, the promotion, but mainly we get to know your target audience because we want to speak to that specific target audience. We then take that information and dissect that into creative content, call to actions, etc., build the body content. Today I'd like to just give a quick example of how we use this on a box piece that we sent out. On the outside it's very simple. We had minimal content, but as you open it up, our main call to action as example for this piece is let's ignite your leads. We've done that through a little bit of creative content above and the concept here. We talk a little bit more about it in the booklet as well. And we keep it pretty basic, but the main thing we want to leave our users with is let us ignite your leads. That's the takeaway. Now in the next portion for component number 2, I'll talk about the user experience and design. The second component is user experience and design. Now when we build a piece, we take into consideration the way the user will interact with the piece and what they gain from the design elements built into it. The main goal is to have several impression points built into each piece. And I'm going to use this as an example, a mailer that we just did. This on the outside, it has little information, so our whole goal is to engage the user to look inside for the information that we're trying to convey. Right here, our main call to action is first and foremost. We have a little leave behind here that actually detaches and they can take this, throw away this, and keep this on their desk. It says all the points of contact on it if they want. In here in the booklet, it talks a little bit more about our services. And then we have a business card here on the back that detaches and has another level of interaction with it. This little card flips out. So a lot of interaction, another impression point. I already mentioned the booklet. And then on the inside, if they want to dig a little bit further, maybe they're wondering how this thing was even built, we've accounted for that, and we have another call to action underneath the tray. So that kind of goes through the impression points. The design that we applies to our current theme and branding that we built for the campaign. So our microsite looks like this. All the mailings that we send that are affiliated with this piece all look the same, and kind of like I showed these examples, have all the same design elements, just reused. We do this with campaigns, and we also use specific brand standards. Many corporations have brand standards that need to be applied to any campaign we build, so we can also build those in as well. So I kind of went through number 1 component, messaging, and number 2, user experience and design. And I'd like to move on to the last component, which is list building. The third and last component is list building. There are 3 types of lists that we utilize when building every print campaign. 1 is a B2B or a business-to-business list. 2, a B2C or a business-to-consumer list. And 3, a simple list purchase. Now with a business-to-business list, an example of this could be, let's say your sales team has a qualified list of leads that they're having troubles getting a meeting with. They've called them a few times, and all they want to do is get in the door so that company can learn more about them, you can learn more about that company. We would take one of our mailings or a print campaign that we develop for you and make it speak to that audience, and then simply mail it to those list of qualified leads. A business to consumer list would include, let's say you're a financial institution and you have a list of current clients or members that actually all have checking accounts with you, and you want to market loans to them and get them in the door for more loans. We again would build a print campaign speaking to them about loans, use that list, and be very targeted when we send that out to that specific qualified lead list. Lastly is a list purchase, which is simply, sometimes we we take this list and we gang it with another list of your qualified leads. So the list purchase could include, maybe it's 1,000 quantity contacts that we want to purchase that would be qualified by zip code, age, income level, and maybe a hobby. It can get pretty detailed, and we would just work with you to define those parameters. We purchase that list, again, gang it with your existing list, and then we mail out a mail piece that speaks to that audience. So that kind of covers the three main components, which are messaging, user experience and design, and list building. Lastly, I just want to cover and talk to you a little bit about how we track each campaign that we build. So now that we covered the three main components to building a successful campaign, I'd like to just take a quick moment to talk to you about how we track the stats for the campaign and the response of the campaign. Real quick, how we do that is mainly through unique URLs and unique phone numbers. Now, unique URLs, this is an example where it just goes to the home page of the microsite. On the interior, we might have specific unique URLs to certain pages that we build into each layer or level of the piece. But for instance, here is where we have the unique phone number, which simply just directs to the main line. Now, this phone number has only been used on this card alone and printed once, so we can always track this number and know how successful these cards are. Just to give some overall stats on how this piece has done for us and what we track, we sent this out. This piece was meant for our sales team to send to prospects that they're really having troubles getting in the door with. They may have had a couple phone calls to them, and now they need a meeting from this piece, or maybe they just simply get voicemails all the time and they can't get through to them. So the stats, within 2 weeks we did reporting. We sent 64 out. Each salesperson sent their own, so 64 were sent. We had 20 conversations started. We had 66 hits to the website, which we had more than the 64 because of some of the phone calls and advertising the piece over the phone. But we had a pretty good response to the website, and 34 of those were new visitors, which means they came directly from this mailer. So some of these were return that the salesman had been calling on. But with any campaign, we can track how many specific pages were viewed, what keywords they searched, how many visitors. Really, the sky's the limit. We can implement any sort of tracking into the campaign, and that's all defined in the discovery meeting. So thanks for your time today, and I hope you took a little bit of information from this, and if you have any questions, please give us a call. Thank you.